Hey there, everybody. I've been working on some cartoon dog drawings for a while because I'm working on a children's book, and I thought I should draw a tutorial on one of the most famous cartoon dogs out there. So this is Pluto. If I'm going too fast, you could always watch it and rewatch it or pause it as you're going along if you want to follow along, or you could just watch it for the heck of it. So, as you can see, I started with the nose, just making an oval. For me, that's always been the best with these type of cartoony characters. Um, then after that, he has like little wrinkles on his nose, and he has a lot of little wrinkles that you'll see used over and over. It's a good way to help transition one body part into the next. A lot of American style cartoon characters use a little technique like that. I even use it sometimes. So this is just his face, and as I'm going along, it's kind of hard for me to describe, so just try to follow along, and if you ever need to pause it or rewatch it, that's I understand. Like, I do the same thing when I'm learning something new. So right here is the eyes. They're basically ovals overlapping, and there's these kind of little lines that hint at where his eyebrows are. And then his eyebrows are just simple little curves that kind of follow along over his eyes. Right there, there's another little wrinkle line, and then he's got like this bulb on the back of his head. It's sort of a signature bump that older Disney characters had on the back of their heads. But as you can see, like, if there was a circle, you could make it around. And right now, I'm just going over in pencil. I'm not worried about making mistakes or anything. If I do make a mistake, I just keep going because I'm going to be inking it, and just I'll know where to ink, and I can just erase all the pencil. So I recommend everyone watching do that same thing. Um, Inking always looks more finished, anyways, and it's a lot easier to scan inked pictures instead of just, scanning in pencil. Scanner doesn't quite pick it up as well. So I just noticed I want his nose to be a tiny bit bigger. Like I said, when I go to ink it, I'll fix a couple little things here and there. In his mouth, Pluto always has his tongue hanging out, so I kind of just drew the mouth open because I knew I was going to draw the tongue, but I wanted to make sure I had it lined up. So you just simply kind of do that. There's like a little line in the middle of the tongue. See right there, I made his chin a little bit wrong shape, but that's okay because I'm going to erase once I go over it with ink. So here's his collar. Kind of think of just like an oval that goes around his head, or neck, I should say. He has a long, skinny neck. And then to make it kind of a 3D-ish effect, go basically just parallel to that circle or oval which you just drew, and then to make it a little bit wider, you do it again, but then come around and it tucks into itself. And then on this side, you go like that, just add a line, gives it that 3D effect. He has a big loose collar like a lot of cartoon characters. Like, it doesn't really make sense, but artistically, you know what it is. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do his full body, but I guess I'll go for it as long as I have time. Don't want this video to be too long. So his overall body is like a big hot dog shape. I'm going to go back and add his eyes real quick. They're simple ovals, and sometimes they're solid black. but I'm going to add a little circle inside. That's just like the highlight where the light is shining. I added one to his nose. You don't have to. I mean, sometimes he doesn't have that, and sometimes he does, depending on, if he's outside or inside and stuff like that. But it just adds a tiny bit more detail. So his first front leg is like basically two lines going down, and like earlier I said, he has wrinkles that kind of help. He has wrinkles like where his armpits would be, and then where his actual foot connects to his leg, he has a couple little. So if you get used to that, just putting a couple little extra, like lines that look like they make a little bump, that's a good way to transition into one body part into the next. So just do the same thing on the leg behind, and then his first back leg, it's actually a little bit longer than his front legs. They kind of end on the ground in the same spot, but his back legs are actually a little bit longer. That's sort of just like a cartoon thing to make him look a little bit goofier. Like when he runs around, he looks all awkward and stuff, and they kind of did that on purpose. So technically his back legs are longer, but they have like a slight bend in them. And then his tail is basically just a little string. It's a little bit thicker, close to his rump area, and then the farther it gets away from him, the skinnier it gets. So I don't know if that's a good tutorial, but if you could follow along, then I hope this helped. I'm going to be inking it and then erase all the pencil, and you'll see how much better it looks once it's has ink on it and I get rid of some of those little random lines. So here it is, finished product. From this point you could simply scan it and either put it on your computer and color it, or color it with markers or colored pencil. It's always best, if you're going to color it, no matter what technique, even watercolor or something, it's always best to ink your drawing. If you're just going to go color straight over pencil, the pencil's going to smear and it's never going to look as good. So I hope this helps, and thanks for watching.